I would like just to take the opportunity to acknowledge very special people that make this university today not only a university that is as good as the Hebrew University and Tel Aviv University. This university today, with a dynamic faculty and students and administration, and the most dedicated group of supporters in Israel and the world, this university, by 2001, is going to be the best university of Israel, university that appreciates civil society and appreciates Jewish heritage in connection with battling and dancing with the desert. And in that regard, I would like to declare today the creation of a new award, the Ben-Gurion Life Achievement Award, that we shall give from time to time to special individuals that in their commitment through their life exemplify what we believe service and what is Ben-Gurion University is all about. And I would like the first to acknowledge Milada Ayrton, Milada Ayrton and George Shrut are the backbone of this university. You go outside, you see the new Ayrton University Center. Every place you see Shrut and Ayrton, and Deichmann will tell you and everybody else that George Shrut brought anybody. So it's all George Shrut.
Speaking, so I'm very excited. Your Excellency, President, Navi, and my very good friend, and ladies and gentlemen, now I'm terribly excited, but I will tell you what I've written. Tonight I'm very elated and very excited to stand here in this lovely surrounding with those wonderful people, and I would say I'm very happy to have this award that I will cherish for the rest of my life. I'm very proud and feel privileged that my beloved university is bestowing upon me this honor. During the time that I joined the Ben-Gurion University family, I did my utmost to support and sustain and develop of this youngest university fact that gave me a sense of pleasure, and I felt that I belonged to the chosen people, chosen to consummate all the dreams of the past. And I thank you, the Ben-Gurion academic family, for the conferring upon me the life's choicest blessing, and I thank you.
I think many of you knew Vladimir Ayrton. You knew him because he was one
of the few members of the board from outside that when he came, he spoke fluent Hebrew. The way he came from Russia, from a distinguished family, he'd been the backbone for Switzerland, for Jewish culture, love and understanding. It was the love shared between Janusz Korczak and David Ben-Gurion. Together with all his family, we've been fortunate to have his support and leadership. Unfortunately, as you know, he passed last year, and we decided, in his memory, to establish a special scholarship fund. And as usual, his good friend, and my good friend, George Shrut, gave the last kick of significant amount of money to start, but I'm sure with the Alperin family and many others, this would be a very large fund. So I would like to ask George.
Come up here to speak after these wonderful speakers. I feel like I would come from the third world. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to wish a happy birthday to my old friend, Ayrton. And I would like to also to wish His Lordship a lot of luck. I know that he will derive a lot of personal satisfaction from this effort on behalf of our university, and will be very fruitful and beneficial. I'm here to speak about my good friend, dear friend, Vladimir Halperin, who passed away last year. There is a Latin proverb, de mortibus nihil nisi bene. About Halperin, Vladimir, we can only talk bene, because he was an extraordinary man. To speak about him, it will take a long time. I'll make it very brief. He was a very well-educated man. He had 2 doctorates. He was a polyglot, spoke many languages, very well Hebrew and Yiddish, and he was a real asset to the Jewish community. He was, before I make it very briefly, he was president of ORG. Then he created a unique organization in the world to commemorate the memory of Janusz Korczak, who was a doctor in Warsaw and a pedagogue, head of an orphanage run by the Jewish community in Warsaw, and was very successful, known. Vladimir Halperin was very much interested in education, and the zchus that I have now to establish the scholarship fund for Vladimir, I think he would appreciate very much. He also left us a Shem Tov. Good name. He left a big imprint among his numerous friends and associates that will last forever. He was also blessed with a nice family, wonderful children, a brother, twin brother, Jean Halperin, educator in Judaism, a wonderful children, and excellent grandchildren. But he was mostly blessed with an exceptional wife, Naomi, who is here. Naomi, thanks to your intelligence, support, and care, Vladimir could accomplish what he did. Without you, he wouldn't be the same. Also, there is a saying that heaven belongs to God. The earth was given to man, though some of us can reach heaven. Vladimir belongs to them. Thank you.
And I would like to call upon Michel Alperin to the podium. Please, Michel.
Your Lordship, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Honorary Chairman, Mr. President, dear George, and dear fellow colleagues of the board. Let me first of all thank you from the bottom of my heart, in my name, and in the name of my mother, and in the name of all my family, for the privilege which is created by the institution of this endowment fund in the name of my late father. I would like to say a few words, although probably I'm not the best place to do it, to say that I believe those students who will become incumbents of this endowment fund will be put and placed under some kind of a special blessing, because as George just said, my father was a man of deep and large culture. He was a man of commitment and dedication and of faithfulness. And I believe that those three elements, all together, represent what could be a blessing in safeguarding, in guiding, in modeling what the destiny of students could be. My father was cultured in all and broadest sense of the word. That means that he was educated in laic and general knowledge, in political sciences and in literature, and in languages, but he got also a very large and deep Jewish formation and culture, which gave him the possibility of reading the Tanakh and the Talmud and Rashi and others in the text, and gave him the possibility to argue with rabbis at an equal level. It gave him also the possibility to teach both in general sciences and also in humanities through Judaism. He was close to the Hasidim. He was a believer, and he was keeping mitzvahs very, very strongly. But he was against superstition, and he was against intolerance. His device was live and let live. And I believe that this is what led him to a very serious commitment for others. He was a man of elegance. He didn't fight for himself. He didn't fight for his glory or for his own personal achievements. He fought for any cause which, in his opinion, was worth because improving mankind. This was certainly also the case when George Shrut took him by the hand and brought him to Ben-Gurion University, together with some other members of the family, in order to give him a new challenge to fight with, or for. And my father took that challenge because he was basically a pioneer in the Zionistic development of the State of Israel, and because he wanted to be faithful to Ben-Gurion views of the world. You remember probably that Ben-Gurion had two basic sentences, or two basic visions. Through one he said, Israel will one day, and he was waiting for that moment, become a country and a people like any other in the world. And the second vision was the vision of a country open to the south, fighting for an improvement of its own nature through a fight against desertification. And those two visions of Ben-Gurion were somehow paradoxical. A few days ago, Israel has shown that it has really become a country like any other. But at the same time, we together here, and my father before us, have decided that the future is in another type of fight. we are fighting for the desert and against it at the same time, because the only place in which sometimes the voice of God has been heard is the desert, nowhere else. And for that reason, I want to conclude with a small quotation. I was remembering of a nice poem, a song from one of the national Israeli poets, I think it was Chernichovsky, about dreams and realities and the happiness you can get from dreams and from realities as well. And this poem, I think, would have suited my father about the way we are trying here in Ben-Gurion University to find a way for a better world and for a better mankind. This poem was in Hebrew, Sarki Sarki el Achlomot, Zuani Acholem Sar, Sarki ki Ba'adam Ma'amin, Yodeni Beruacho. I am a dreamer. I am dreaming with a smile. I am the dreamer, the smiling dreamer, because I know mankind, and I know the soul of mankind, and this is enough to make me happy. Thank you very much.
Practical now point, I will donate 6 scholarships to start, and I think that we will organize hand in hand in Geneva a fundraising fund, and I'm sure that this fund will be in a size to make you all proud. Thank you.
And I would like now to invite, as the first speaker, Mr. George Shrut, who together with Mrs. Milada Ayrton are true friends of our university and are always ready for any new project. So please come to the podium.
Dear Dr. Deichmann, dear President of the University, Dr. Avishai Braverman, dear Lord Vice-Chancellor, and Lambert Vice, dear Simon Reitman, dear Professor Engel, all of you, dear people, dear friends. It was a lucky star that brought me one winter day to Klosters to meet Dr. and Mrs. Deichmann, and I am happy to say that a partnership of affection and friendship and brotherhood has developed right away. Since that day, Dr. Deichmann became a full and very devoted and generous member of the family of our university. You, Dr. Deichmann, and your family enjoy a deep and sincere friendship, respect, and appreciation of all of us here, members of the faculty, governors, and guests. Dr. Deichmann, more than many other people, understands and adheres to the principle that good fortune must walk hand in hand with sharing, and the gracious providence is helping you in this task. One evening in May, Dr. Braverman called me up, full of joy, and told me that the tzaddik accepted his proposition to donate $2 million to the Deichmann Building for mathematics cornerstone laying being effected now, and $1 million to Dyckman Fund for Desert Research. Knowing Dr. Dyckman, I was not surprised. I would like to explain to Dr. Dyckman that tzaddik is a title applied to an individual considered righteous in his relation with God and man. Tzedakah, a derivative of tzaddik, is what you are providing for this university, and according to Maimonides, tzedakah is the highest mitzvah. That is a good deed that a man can achieve. I know that you take delight in giving to causes that enrich not only the spirit, but also the well-being of most unfortunate people like you, Leopard Project in India. Now I must confess that I did not ask Abishai to put me on the dais in order to express a praise to you, Dr. Dyckman.